Okay, hopefully that means that we are live. I totally boomered Wednesday's show. I don't know what happened, but let's see if we can do a better job here on take two. So joining me this week, the inaugural episode of the Dojo Kun Shill Shack, is Dylan from Raging Rainbow. Hi, Dylan. How are you?
Hello, thank you for having me back. Happy to be here.
Yeah, thanks so much for agreeing to give this another go. I appreciate it.
Of
Um,
course.
So what I'm going to do is, first thing I'm going to set this off with, I'm going to say, one of the things that brought me to ask you to be on the show is I've been in your chats, I've watched your show a number of times. So if you could tell us a bit about your show and the show that you just completed streaming.
Sure, yeah, definitely. So I am also here. I'm a streamer also on YouTube. I also make videos. I like to review the comic books for everybody. I review both the mainstream, yes, and I also review Comicsgate. I love just talking about comics in general, and that's basically what I was just doing. As Doji just mentioned, I was actually on my stream talking with another YouTuber. We were talking about, all things comics, characters, just pop culture. I love talking about all of it and just kind of like fostering that community that we all grew up with when we could just talk about the things that we loved and things we enjoyed and just, have fun with it. That's what I try to do on my channel. And I like to think I do an okay job of it.
Oh, you do better than okay. In fact, I think that
Thank you.
that's it shines through how much you enjoy doing it because yeah, you do entertain. It is a lot of fun to be in your chat, and I see that so far your chat's no so huge that you can't interact with your chat because you do all the time.
Yeah, I definitely try to, but they're getting to the point where they're getting ahead of me. So
Oh, okay. Well, that's a good problem to have. That means there's a lot of
very
folks in
true.
there.
Exactly.
Okay, so great. Let us now bring in our guests. We have with us today Corey Hardiman, who is going to be talking about his campaign, Sister Mercy, Paradise Lost. And we've also got Jake Adams, who'll be talking about Cobalt, Death Stalks Us. Hi, guys. Thanks for also agreeing to come on here and give this another go.
Yeah.
Thanks for
Round
having me.
two, baby. Let's do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hopefully it records our words this time. So what we're going to do, like we did our first attempt, is we're going to go over these two campaigns. Now they are in different stages. Corey's campaign is soon to end, and we're going to talk about what he's got available now, and we'll talk about it in detail a little bit later, but it'll have a pretty quick fulfillment. And then Jake's book is in the pre-launch sign-up phase right now, and we'll get to talking about a couple of incentives as to why you may want to sign up for that, other than just because his book's going to be awesome. And we'll also talk about a collaboration he's working on. So let's first, however, start with Corey. And Corey, if you'd like, I can share my screen and bring up your campaign, and you can walk us through it.
Sure.
Okay, I'll do that. Whoops, no, first I have to go here. Then I go here. There we go. Okay, so why don't you walk us through your campaign, please?
Okay, so this was previously on Kickstarter, and it was previously funded very, very successfully on Kickstarter. So I'm just bringing it over to Indiegogo now for the first time after being on Kickstarter for 5 successful runs. So we're giving this a go and starting out. So this is a compilation. Sister Mercy is a post-apocalyptic tale about a schizophrenic nun that hears the voice of God, which leads her across a post-apocalyptic wasteland, trying to survive a wide variety of dangers. And this gathers the first 4 issues together into a 120-page volume, which is the first half of the first story arc.
So that's significant, the fact that it's 120 pages and collects 4 different issues. So everybody who hadn't seen this before because it was on Kickstarter and perhaps they're more apt to be looking at Indiegogo, they'll have an opportunity then to read your whole story. With that in mind, to talk about the story, do you want me to go ahead and hit your trailer?
Sounds great.
Okay, I think that I've shared audio. Hope I didn't boomer that part, but let's see what happens.
Most of the oceans have dried, leaving only vast expanses of poison and toxic waste that give birth to horrors best left undiscovered. Stained red skies are smeared by putrid clouds of pollution that can be tasted in the repugnant air, while a wasteland of sand and detritus bury a past that has been forgotten by generations, the cities mere skeletons of their former grandeur. Welcome to the world of Sister Mercy, where a schizophrenic nun is led by the voice of God while battling irradiated grotesques and dark occultists. Like Joan of Arc reimagined for a much different, more desperate time, Mercy is a sexy, fast-paced trip to the final days of humanity. A nightmarish future born of God's darkest dreams, where everything that moves may not be living, but everything that moves is deadly. If ever there was a time to have mercy, this is it.
That trailer is fire. I mean, that is awesome.
Yeah,
Thanks.
I really enjoyed that,
Credit
man.
there to credit the three people
it
on
really
that one.
does.
Background is my good friend Daniel O'Leary, who gave me permission to use the audio for that, and my good buddy Blair Hayden threw together the file, and Ryan Lee Voice, somebody I hired out of LA to actually do the voiceover.
Okay, great. And we talked about this at our first go around, but it's worth mentioning. There's a couple of new vocabulary words for some of us in there. Detritus, for example, we talked about. What was it you said about what it means?
I've another word for debris, and I've always seen it in written form when I've been reading, and I've always pronounced it detritus. And to hear it actually, he said detritus, and I had to jump on Google because I thought he mispronounced it, but that was actually the proper way, and I was wrong all along.
Okay. Another thing he did right was he said irradiated, which I was impressed with because most of the time I hear people say irradiated, which kind of makes sense because it's radiation, but he pronounced irradiated correctly. So that's, kudos to that guy. All right.
For sure.
Enough about that. Let's talk about the campaign itself, and then we'll come back and talk about the tiers.
Okay, yeah. So there's the back cover. That's a picture by Derek Stevens with a quick write-up about the story. Just really, really love that art, love her posture and body language in that picture. I think it really, really nails her character.
Awesome. Yeah, it's a really good picture. Then there's a little bit of a write-up here, but now we get into the covers on the book.
So that's cover A by John Davies and Ivan Dominguez. That's just the standard edition cover.
She's skewering that guy from behind right through the throat.
That's right.
And then here, this is my favorite cover.
Yeah.
This was cover B. This was my surprise cover that showed up halfway through the Kickstarter campaign. So I had it on there for the very, very end. And this is from the interior artist and colorist, Ricardo Silva and Ivan Dominguez, Luño Alves, the new interior colorist.
Okay. Yeah,
Did a
very
hell
good.
of a job with that one.
Yeah, it's fantastic. Sure. I love that image a lot. I've used it for a few of the stretch goals as well, like the pin is the same picture in the pin.
Okay.
Here's our new variant cover by Mauro Zapata, a bit more of a cartoonish take on Sister Mercy. In previous podcasts, somebody had mentioned she was drawn very, very similarly into a style of the old Playboy cartoons, and I know she has a very similar sort of look. If you remember, like the 80s, 90s Playboys that had the very sort of same face on every woman.
I may or may not know what you mean by that. We'll just move on.
I wouldn't. I only ever read the articles, so I don't know anything about
that. And this here is our Indiegogo exclusive cover by Chris Graves, and again with colors by Mauro Zapata. And this one wasn't previously available on the Kickstarter. This is Indiegogo only.
All right, so a lot of the folks who are lean more toward Indiegogo can appreciate that because the exclusive makes
and
it.
You actually just got them in the mail.
I'm sorry.
Right, and they so fulfillment's going to happen really fast as well. I'm only waiting for one more box. I got 2 out of 3 of the boxes arrived. So
nice.
Oh, sweet.
Excellent. So yes, quick fulfillment. I did mention that earlier, and that's exactly why. So for all of you who are considering backing this, he's already got the books with the exception of one box, and it's on its way. So now here we've got a 4-page preview. I think you said that this is the first 4 pages of issue 1. Is that correct? Oh, did we lose Corey?
Hope he just stalled out.
Yeah, it could be, but I mean,
Uh,
just this art, it looks incredible. I mean, I love it, and I think it does look like it's definitely from the first issue. Like, it looks so nice.
It does look like it's a scene setup. And if I remember right, one of the things that Corey told us was that although this is
Am I
very
back?
good. Oh, there he is. Yeah.
There we go.
I was just starting to describe how you were telling us that although these pages are really good, there's an improvement along the way from this point on, isn't there? He was briefly back. He said that his interior artist, Ricardo Silva, does improve quite a bit through the 4 issues of the miniseries that this book collects. So, and I think this right here is a great example of Ricardo's skill. So if it gets even better than this, that makes it well worth backing.
Very true. Yeah.
Now, the thing about the back issues that we do know is you're also able to get the back issues, the floppy versions, as add-ons, and you can get them in bundles. I'll let him talk about the bundles when he comes back, but these are the floppy versions, and he's got their standard edition and then a nude variant. And you can see that they're censored for the for Indiegogo's purposes, but you can get each one of the 4 issues or the nude variant. I imagine you can add them all on separately. You can mix and match. There's also an art book available for I believe it's 20 Canadian dollars, which would be roughly 16 US. And this art book will feature pinups and covers and all that from this list of folks. And the name that got my attention immediately is Mike Crome. I was quite impressed that he got Mike Crome to participate in this one. His art is just phenomenal, and it may be worth getting this art book just to see Mike's work. Now, he told me that he's on several pages. I didn't take the time to look through the list here, but I do see Ricardo Silva's on several pages.
Am I back?
Marco,
No.
it sounds like you're back. Yep.
Yeah.
We just got into
Okay,
talking
sorry
about
with
your
the bad
art book.
internet. Yeah, no, I caught that. Mike Chrome is just on the one. Actually, when I had said that previously, you had said Mike Chrome, but I had heard Steph Wilson for some reason.
Oh.
It's Steph Wilson that was on multiple pages. I'm only lucky enough to have the one image so far. I'd love to be
Okay.
able to work with him again, though.
Yeah, he's really good. But you've also got Marco de Archangelis, and we'll have a look at. In fact, I'm just going to jump down to that one. Here's the one by Marco de Archangelis. The realism here is just so impressive. This has got to be my favorite image from your books.
I very much enjoy the
That
painterly
is
digital
beautiful.
versions. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Like, I've just been obsessed with this image since the first time I saw it. I was like, my God, I need a poster of this.
So,
Okay.
I
Corey,
just seen it.
are you aware,
He
Corey,
just
that
shared on Facebook today, and it's of a NASA astronaut in a suit, and the amount of detail he put in NASA suit. Look at the picture; it's just absolutely amazing. He does great work. I highly recommend everyone check out his stuff on Facebook.
Nice.
Okay.
all right,
He's
yes,
on Facebook.
definitely.
I'll check him out then.
So, are you aware, Corey, that Dylan featured Sister Mercy on his show?
I did do that. That was a thing that I decided, because like after we talked about this, I was like, I need to talk about this project some more. I need more people to know about this. So I definitely had to like go and share it out. I was able to secure at least a couple of backers, I think, if I remember correctly. So I mean, just getting to talk about this, like everybody was blown away by this project. We were just having fun talking about like all of the influences and different like just inspirations that we could see coming from this. And yeah, everybody was very much impressed by the nude covers, which I figured they were going to be.
Yes, for some reason people are into that. Whatever.
I don't know what it is. I don't know what the appeal is there, but clearly there's a draw.
And why don't you tell us a little bit about this cover, Corey?
There was
I'm sorry,
definitely a
pinup.
big boost after the last time I was on here, so that was great. Thank you guys very much.
You bet. And then this cover here, you said this is also Ricardo Silva. He's the one who did cover B, which I really like. And this is a character from is it from Fred's comic, or who's this from?
That's Max DeVille, his comic, Mary Machine Gun. Max DeVille has Atrocity Press. And that was just a cross promo that we did together. He's been a backer of Sister Mercy right from issue 1. And his character is also a nun character. So I commissioned my artist to draw a picture, and he commissioned his artist to draw a picture. And we each just kind of threw one out there to cross promote a little bit.
Cross promotion is awesome. In fact, Jake and I will be talking about that in a little bit. This Mary Machine Gun, I like this character too, and I have heard of Atrocity Press. We'll have to check that out as well sometime. Maybe I can get him on. Okay,
For
so
sure.
let's
I
go
think
on
he
back
would
up
be,
to the.
he would love to get him, yeah.
You know what? I need to pause and give you a moment to respond. I'll bet there's a lag in us talking and you hearing us.
I'm sure. Very sorry again for the bad internet. We were lucky the last time. This time, not so much.
Well, we'll muddle our way through. Hopefully, we'll be able to get through these tiers. If you want to tell us about what's available here to back your awesome project.
Sounds good. So that's our first tier there, which is a PDF version of just the Art of Sister Mercy, which we were just talking about.
Okay, so that's the art book, a PDF version of it. And then next up.
And following up behind that is the PDF of the graphic, the 120-page graphic novel itself with the standard edition, and also the nude variant for just a couple of dollars more, which is also in PDF.
Okay, cool. And next
Something
up
tells
is
me you're going to be getting a lot of those sold.
Next up, we have the physical copy of the art
And
book.
it was very, very popular on the Kickstarter for sure.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah, and that's that is right there. Yeah, the physical copy of the art book that we were just talking about, which is also available as an add-on as well. And right under that is our very first cover, which is the one by John Davies and Ivan Dominguez, which is the lowest priced out of all of the tiers for the graphic novel itself.
Okay. Go down to the next two. So the benefit with cover B
We have the
is that we get to see it in
sorry
its full
about that
form
lag.
here on the left.
And yeah, so cover B, the Ricardo Silva and Manuel Alves cover, and follow that up by the next variant, which would be the nude variant.
So cover B
And
is
again,
the one
all
that
these
I
are
backed.
also available as add-ons if you wanted.
Cool.
Oh, okay.
Awesome, thank you so much.
Yeah, I really think that cover B is the one that on my channel,
Yeah.
everybody loved that one the best. Like everybody kind of agreed, like that one looks the coolest.
Yeah, that deserves to be like a 12 by 18 poster, no doubt.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And that one's safe to put up on the wall someplace, you know.
Exactly.
Other ones belong in my wallet.
Exactly. See, that's the one for fun time. The other one is for in case mom comes over.
Oh, I gotta tell you guys, I saw this on Twitter and it just made me laugh out loud. It was a little note to Santa from a little girl named Jamie. It said, "Santa, I have all sorts of things. Could you please just donate my clothes to all the naked ladies in Dad's phone?"
That is awesome.
I love that.
So here's cover D. This is the Indiegogo exclusive that Corey was talking about just a little while ago. So that's great to see. It's 45 Canadian dollars or 35 US. That's pretty good. And then here's the bundles. I'm going to shut up and let Corey talk about these.
And I price it as low as possible to help offset the cost of the extra bit of shipping, since I'm shipping out of Canada. So it's a bit more than people are probably used to paying for American projects. Mm-hmm. So hopefully that offsets it a little bit. And then following that up, yeah, we have our bundle from heaven and our bundle from hell. The first bundle is the first 4 standard edition covers with the artist Sister Mercy. So that's 5 books. The one that's the variant, also with the artist Sister Mercy.
So that one also includes the art book. That's great. And now let's go down here. We've got a couple of tiers, including original artwork.
I'm seeing more and more original artwork popping
Yes,
up
and
on
these ones
different
here,
campaigns.
the actual, this is the cover B one, the original artwork that just showed up in the mail from Brazil today, much to my relief. And yeah, so that one is available. And we also have the cover C, the new variant artwork that was originally available on the Kickstarter as well, and was bid on and taken on day one. But unfortunately, the backer deleted his pledge in the last couple of days, so that's what made it available for the Indiegogo. The rest of the original art they had on Kickstarter went. So that's why that's still here.
So we have a few collectors of original art. I say a few. I say that tongue in cheek because there's a lot of collectors of original art here in the Indiegogo scene. And if they see this nude variant is available, you know, it's a bummer that backer backed out on you on Kickstarter. But hey, you know, we've got a lot of deep pockets here in this Indiegogo arena. Hopefully, somebody will see that and snap that up. Oh, you've also got the Indiegogo exclusive cover available. Excellent.
And then, yeah, and that is a beautiful, beautiful piece of art, even in black and white and color. Just absolutely gorgeous.
And that's this one here again.
And really a great price considering just how amazing that art is, that you can get that original artwork for that price. Like that's just perfect. It makes it even better that you get the book and you get to have that original artwork. You can put that up on your wall if you wanted. Like that's
and those original artwork tiers also come with the actual graphic novels as well, the corresponding graphic novels that represent the same covers.
And then if
what's
you get
the size?
Oh yeah, good question.
What's the size of the original artwork? I want to say like 11 by 14, but
I would say it's all in the packaging. Oh goodness.
Oh, okay.
8.5, probably a good 12 by 17, if I had to say something around those dimensions.
Oh, there we go. That's poster art. There we go. Yeah.
Yeah. I've got some wall space right there. Okay, great. So, yeah, folks, he's got a handful of backers, but he's fully funded, and he had, correct me if I'm wrong, Corey, but 500 backers in Kickstarter. Is that right?
Yeah, I maxed out at 541, I think it was 541 on my issue 4 campaign, or issue 3 campaign, 521 on my issue 4. This particular campaign, which was a little bit different under Kickstarter, I can't remember the specific number. I think it was like 340 or something like that. But the previous couple averaged out over 500.
That is insane.
So, yeah, isn't that something? I think that we have an opportunity to do that as long as we get the right eyes on this, and we just need to start spreading the word about Sister Mercy throughout our indie community over here on Indiegogo. I really think that the art will sell it. The fact that we talk about what the premise of the book is very intriguing. So that should sell it. A lot of times, though, I'll be perfectly transparent with you here. Sometimes it's the art that draws the backers in over here on Indiegogo, and that may be true for Kickstarter as well. But in Indiegogo, the art draws them in, and then the writing is what keeps them coming back for the next issue. So, and speaking of the next issue, you've got plans for that pretty soon, don't you, Corey?
That's exactly what I've always said. Issue 5 is going to be launching on Kickstarter. The plan is January the 1st. I'm going to actually have a pre-launch page put up as soon as the last package for our Kickstarter fulfillment goes in the mail, which will be as soon as that last box comes and I can fill out the last of the packages. So the pre-launch page will be up within a week, 2 weeks max.
So if you get some good backing here on Indiegogo, will you be bringing it here too?
Yeah, I think so. We'll see how the next 30 days for this goes. I think my problem with Indiegogo is that I was new to Twitter. I was very much just Facebook, and for the most part, that was it. Which I believe is where we find the majority of the Kickstarter backers. Twitter is a bit of a new monster to me. I've only been on there for a month, So I'm still growing, expanding, taking baby steps, but we'll keep going and see what happens and see how the next 20 days or so goes on here.
Well, I've been tweeting it out on Twitter. I've been on Twitter for about 13 years now, so I do have some followers. And if I tweet it out there, maybe Jake and Dylan can retweet it for me when they see it, and we see how many eyes we can get on this.
You know it.
Absolutely. Oh yeah, for sure.
So what we'll do now, thank you, Corey. What we're going to do now is we're going to jump on over to Jake's campaign, which is currently in the, you bet, it's in the pre-launch sign-up phase. So Jake, why don't you walk us through this page and give us some of the deets.
Sure. So this is going to be the sequel to Cobalt, Atlantis Thrashing, which also took place here on Indiegogo. But this follows immediately after the last page of Cobalt, Atlantis Thrashing. And so we're stuck in the childhood home of Jesse Jensen, a.k.a. Cobalt. And he is now stuck eye to eye with both the Deathstalker and, of course, Detective Reyes, who actually led the Deathstalker to his home. So
unbeknownst to her, though, right?
Unbeknownst to her, yes.
Okay, right.
So here is where we see everything unfold, and the stakes get much higher. So we're going to see either alliances forge or diminish. We're going to see a little bit of backstabbing taking place. We're going to see a little bit of trust issues taking place within the circle of Jesse Jensen with his own family and friends. So those characters that you met in issue 1, we're going to be seeing a lot of back and forth going on to see where Jesse should be taking himself versus where he wants to take himself. The theme of Cobalt is, of course, trauma. It takes place with a bunch of individuals that have suffered limb loss at one way or another, and it has to do with those who have been through the military and come back home, find themselves still stuck in some of the 7 stages of grief. And so this is the comeuppance of Jesse trying to get out of those stages. He's not ready to let go. He's still hurting. He's still dissatisfied with how he took down the Iranian. He's still holding on to something eating at him. And instead, where he should be putting his attention is his younger brother, Isaac. So we're going to be seeing a lot of that hit hard in the next couple issues. So family, trauma, having to kind of wade yourself through the waters that take place into becoming the hero that his little brother needs versus what Atlanta also needs.
Very nice. Yeah, I really loved that first story, like the setup of everything. And like you mentioned, like the whole dynamic between him and his little brother, like it really spoke to me, like, because I grew up really close to my siblings. So I mean, just seeing him having that internal conflict of wanting to be there more for his brother and knowing he should be there more for his brother, but at the same time wanting to, actually go out and fight crime. Like it really hits so well to me, like the old school type of comics of, like, especially Marvel comics, of just the character having this internal conflict, wanting to be more present in their personal life, but also wanting to do right for where they live, wanting to protect the innocent people. So I really love that. It was so well done. I can't wait for this one.
One of the things that really struck me about the first one was how his good friend and his little brother are both, well, yeah, I knew. Come on, we're not dumb.
Yeah, exactly. That was so perfect.
That was cool. It was like, now that's how it would really go. I'm sure my friend Joe would be like, you think you can keep this from me? Come on.
Exactly. Like, I know you don't fight and you're coming home with all these bruises. Of course I figured it out.
Right. So tell us about, what is this about Hell's Playground? What does that mean?
So that is the picture right next to it. That is art from Adam Miller. He's actually making his way through Comicsgate right now, trying to gain a little more clout and find his place here among us in the indie circuit. So I hit him up after I saw a piece of his with Inglorious Rex on it, I believe. And as I said before with Corey's campaign, I love painterly, realistic art. So that's very much what it was. And I immediately jumped on Adam and was like, hey, I need you to commission me something like this for my character and my campaign. Would you be able to do that? So I gave him a new character that's not been presented yet in Cobalt, standing right behind him. That would be O-Run. So O-Run is going to be a new player coming down the road. And Orun is actually an African god of knowledge and wisdom. So we'll be seeing how that plays in among the new lot that takes place down the road. Hell's Playground, that's just a little bit of lore adding on to the cyberpunk neo-noir Atlanta that we're setting up in. So Hell's Playground used to be like a little park for families and everybody to come to, but since its demise and how the criminal underbelly kind of rose and took over Atlanta, it is now known as Hell's Playground.
Gotcha. So as I've said before, I recognize the artist on this right away.
That's right. Yeah, that is 6 a.m. Comics. So I've done stickers before for the first campaign, and I showed you guys last time. I'll show you again. They're very cutesy, very, very nice, very, family friendly. And that was the first one from the campaign. And this is the second sticker that's going to be coming up. But I wanted to do something special with this chibi from 6 a.m. So I went ahead and I made that into perfect little magnets.
Yes.
So these will be magnets that you get to put up on your fridge or wherever else that you have like metal, framing. So I absolutely love these.
I know for a fact that there's at least one person who'll appreciate the magnet idea, and there's several. I know that Bancroft had magnets on his campaign. I know Amanda touts the wanting to put magnets on her fridge. So yeah, this I think that'll be popular.
Yeah, most definitely.
Oh, yeah, definitely same here. Like I'm loading up on Comicsgate magnets. The more I can get, it's becoming my prized possessions at this point.
How
yeah,
cool
I
is
hadn't
that?
thought about it until I saw Global Frequency's Mavericks campaign. And I was like, magnets, why didn't I think of it? It's such an obvious choice to go with.
Exactly.
I was like kicking myself.
Right.
But yeah.
So now he's saying if you subscribe early and back a physical, you get a secret perk. What's that all about?
Yeah. That was the secret perk. So when you sign up, you'll get that secret perk of the Cobalt Chibi magnet.
Oh, that was the perk. Sorry.
Yeah. Now, if you're talking about that secret perk that's going to be happening with a certain collaboration I'm on.
Yeah, let's talk a little bit about that one.
Okay. So I'm teaming up with this pretty gnarly guy. You might know him. He goes by Dojo Kun Comics. You've seen him around with Siamese and other books, but he and I decided to come together and do a collaboration on launching our campaigns together consecutively on Bancroft's channel on February 18th, 2022, coming up soon. And so when you go and you subscribe and you back a physical tier at both of our levels, you will be able to. Am I glitching out? No,
I don't think so.
No,
okay,
you're good on mine.
It was weird over on my end. But when you go and you sign up on our mailing list and then you back the physical level on both of our campaigns, you will be getting a prized print done by Shelby Roberts. That's going to be an homage. Shelby Robertson. That's going to be an homage to a certain X-Men issue that Brian will be able to tell you because it keeps escaping me because I'm dyslexic like a motherfucker.
So yeah, let me jump in and tell them it's X-Men number 141, the first issue of the Days of Future Past. So it's the one that has Wolverine and Kate Pryde and the spotlight on the cover, and then on the wall behind them is the poster, the wanted poster that has all of the X-Men and as to whether or not they're apprehended or slain. Now, for the homage that Shelby will be doing, in addition to Cobalt in Wolverine's place and Naya, the Shifter, in Kate's place, and the Shifter is the collaboration campaign that he's talking about. It's the one from Dojo Kun Comics, and we can talk about that a little bit later as to what they are. But on the poster behind them will be 15 different CG characters from all different creators. They got their permission, and it's going to be great. It's going to have their names below them and all that. So it'll be pretty awesome to have all of those characters on there collaborating with us.
Yeah, and you actually hit me up for that. So I just want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for actually wanting to, come together with me and do this. So it's been a huge honor being able to do that.
Yeah, I think it's great. I want to see more collaborations like this. I saw one, Dave Brink from Genuine Comics and Michael Oden from Nine Realms Publishing. They did a co-launch and a very similar thing with a print that featured their characters for their Perfect 10 and the Embrace campaigns. So
Right.
this isn't an original idea, but it's definitely, this print will be originally ours. And I know that Shelby's already working on it. So we're excited to hopefully soon show everyone so they can see what they're getting if they sign up for both of these mailing lists and then back a physical tier on each of our campaigns.
Yeah, I've already got the picture frame ready. It's sitting in my closet, just waiting to put it in there.
And I think it was Dylan who suggested when we gave this our first run that that will be probably good enough to be in a poster form. And if it's Shelby doing it, I'm going to say more than probably. I'm a huge simp for Shelby Robertson's stuff. I think it's going to be amazing.
Right.
Yeah, I love that idea. And I already have the spot for it. It's right over there. I got that right part of the wall. It's ready for it. It's just been waiting.
Awesome. So yeah, that's something I'll have to consider is somehow getting that into a poster form as well. The thing about that is so far on the shifter, at least, all of the pieces of that campaign will go into a Gemini mailer. So if we somehow make this a poster, it's going to need to be a folded poster because I don't want to have one of those big, huge tubes to deal with because postage has just been killing me.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't want to get into a lengthy discussion about it here, but I can tell you that it was because of international postage that my first campaign actually ended up being a loss.
Yeah.
So I got to hope for better days as far as that goes, as far as getting backers for this next campaign, and be a little bit more intelligent in the items that I pick that I put on there as add-ons and stretch goals.
I think that's something that all first timers
for posters in the past, and they've worked out really, really good.
Okay.
And they're actually cheaper than mailing them in a tube as well.
So if you could, Corey, if you could send me in the DMs, not right this minute, but later when you have an opportunity, if you could send me your poster vendor, I'd appreciate knowing because I haven't even started looking into that yet.
Absolutely, be happy to.
Thank you. See, that's another great thing about our community. Is that what you were about to say, Jake?
Oh yeah, you know it.
Go ahead then. I don't want to interrupt.
No, you're good. No, I think I was just about to say that I think that's one thing that a lot of like first time campaign makers on Indiegogo like run into is like it's like I want to go and do free shipping for everybody, and so if it hadn't been for that, I would have at least broken even. But yeah, I ended up in a little bit of red, but I still don't count it as a loss because I fucking fulfilled around the time that I wanted to.
Which is always the biggest success you can tout.
Hail to Tail End Studios. And you know what that does too? That also, well, number one, it gets you're satisfied because you've made a comic book. You've published a freaking comic book. Two, you got it into our hands and we were able to read it. And Dylan and I just a few minutes ago we were commiserating about it. We loved your story, and that speaks very highly of Tail End Studios and your ability. And then three, you fulfilled, like you just mentioned, and that means that backers can be confident in backing Death Stalks Us because there's no question that you're going to do what you need to get this one in our hands too.
Oh, no doubt. But yeah.
Awesome.
And especially nowadays, like that's one of the biggest things for so many people is just like fulfillment, getting the books into people's hands. Like that's one of the biggest, criticism that, some of the other Comicsgate creators sometimes get is like, it just feels like too long waiting to actually get the books. I mean, when you can hold that up and say, hey, I fulfilled and I did it quick. People love that. Right. People love to hear that.
Absolutely.
I always try to pride myself on fulfilling way ahead of the deadline as well, because there's nothing worse than looking at your project you're waiting for and the months are passing and you're still waiting for something that should have been there months ago.
It causes so much anxiety. I mean, it's ridiculous because you got people counting on you and you're just like, fuck, I'm failing them.
Also too, it's worth mentioning there's two schools of thought as to when to launch your campaigns. For example, some folks have their book completely done before they launch their campaign, and some need the crowdfunding in order to pay for their artist, colorist, and letterer. And some of us who are just hashtag just a writer actually have to pay the whole creative staff. Now I know that, yeah, you too, right. I know that some folks in the indie community have the ability, and God bless them, that they can do all of those pieces to one skill level or another, and it's great that they can do that.
Star Circuit.
Bancroft. Yep. It must be great to be able to do all those things. I can draw, but not to the order that any of you would want to buy it.
Yeah.
Oh, I
Unless you like stick figures.
I want him to draw, and they're like these horrible little stick figures because my artistic skill drawing on a scale of 1 to 10 is definitely a 1.
Oh,
and that's
okay.
How he somehow interprets what I want out of these little doodles and makes these great pages blows my mind. I think he's like half psychic or something.
Well, that's something I always allude to, in the fact that the artist is just as much a storyteller as us writers are. We present the story, some of us in different ways. Some people write it in prose and have the artist do it the Marvel way, and then they later go in and put what words will be spoken in the word balloons. I write it as if it's a screenplay because I've been an actor ever since I was a 6th grader. So mine looks very specific. So-and-so says this, and this is the camera angle and all that. The great thing, though, I have a great rapport with my artist. I give him the leeway to change that if he sees some opportunities that would appear better. What's that, Corey?
That's exactly how I do it as well. Yeah. Here's my recommendation, how I see it, but if you have a better idea, like, hit me with it. I'm all ears.
Yeah, Zilson has come up with some that have been phenomenal. And I've just been, really grateful that he and I have been working together for several years now. He is the artist who did Siamese 3 and 4. So, and he also did one of the variant covers for the campaign. So he's fun to work with. And another thing that's kind of fun about him is he's a member of a heavy metal band down there in Brazil.
Oh,
nice.
So that's kind of cool because I've been singer since a 6th grader too. So we sort of have a rapport going there as well. All right, so we are coming up to about 1/4 till, and I know I told you guys that we were going to cut this one a little short so we all have the opportunity to go over to Bancroft's show. This is tonight's the last show of his week. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go round robin and ask you guys to tell us where we can find you on the socials. And just like we did in take 1, I'll start with you, Dylan.
Yes, this time I'm a little bit more ready. So
Okay.
if you would like to find me on Twitter, you definitely can. Just look for me under Dr. Midnighter. It's kind of like the classic character Dr. Midnight, but with an R on the end. You can find me that way. You can also find me on Instagram at mid_niter, NITER. And yeah, you can definitely follow me there. I tend to talk about comics, although a lot of times it's just me tweeting out when I have a new video up, because I do have a YouTube channel under the Raging Rainbow. I do reviews of comic books, as I mentioned before. I like to do pretty much whatever. If it interests me or if I think I can talk about it, I will definitely do that. So that's where you can find me. And possibly, I mentioned this before also last time, I may possibly at some point have my own campaign coming at some point. I have another viewer of mine who's an artist, and we're kind of starting to germinate some ideas that I've already kind of had rattling around the old noggin for a while. So could possibly be that you'll see something coming from me. And if so, then you'll see me doing the circuit on everybody's channels to try and talk about it and promote it.
That's right. You better get in touch with me. You got to come on my show, man.
Definitely.
We'll have a different co-host and we'll grill you for information.
Exactly.
Corey, where can we find you in the socials?
You can find me on Sister Mercy on Facebook. Just type in Sister Mercy Book, and as well as Instagram and at Attic Door Comics on Twitter.
He's new to Twitter, so everybody get on over there and give him a follow.
Let's get it. Still trying to figure out how to hashtag and at people in the whole 9 yards.
That's right. That's right. Once you do, though, you'll find that Twitter is a great tool for getting involved with those of us who are in YouTube and Indiegogo. Those 3 are like a triumvirate. Those 3 go together very, very well, and it really gets eyes on the projects. When I was going to launch back in February of this year, a few people, Michael Bancroft and Rob Arnold were 2 of them, said, no, you're not ready to launch yet. You still need to get on people's shows, get out your the pre-launch sign-up page and get known before you get to launching. And it was great advice. I'm glad I took it, because once I did, I went on to 80 shows. and I collected all of the names of the shows and the times and when they streamed, and I collected that into something called the CG Guide. So for those of you who'd like to take a look at that and look for opportunities to go on people's shows, you can go to dojokuncomics.wixsite.com and look, and there's a menu at the top. You click on CG Guide, it'll take you right to it. You can download it in CSV file form, and you'll have, I think it's more than 80 that are on there now, because people have been telling me about their shows in the following months. And also, any of you who are watching, if you have a YouTube show and you'd like it to be on the guide, hit me up in the DMs and I'll definitely include you. But you need to have a look at the layout so you know how much information I need. So that was a huge interruption. Sorry, Jake, you're up next. Where can we find you in the socials?
You can find me right here. You can find me at Bionic Bruh, and you can find me at Tail End Studio. That's all you gotta do. That's Twitter and Instagram. So if you want to say hey, just hit up one of these.
Love it.
And there's also that sign-up page. Don't forget to do that.
Yes.
Okay, listen, everybody. Dylan, thank you so much for being my first co-host and for giving it another go. Corey and Jake, thanks for coming back on to talk about your projects. They both look excellent. I can't wait to have them both in my hands, and I can just quietly sit over there and read them. So I really appreciate the work you're doing in comic books.
Thanks for having us on. I appreciate it.
You bet. Hail to everyone in the chat. Thanks so much for being here with us. Sorry we didn't interact with you more. I boomered the first time. I wanted to be so careful to make sure that we showed everybody what these guys had in store for us. So hopefully you'll join us this coming Wednesday for the next episode here on Dojo Kun Shill Shack. Everyone take care.
See you later.